Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, continuing my 2021 year-end top 10s as we look at my number 4 super middleweight in the world right now, the former 2-division world champion, Billy Joe Saunders of the United Kingdom. So Billy Joe was entering 2021, coming off of 2020 where I believe he just stayed busy and fought once, if I have my facts correct. And was seeking the big fight, though. He wanted that big showdown with Canelo Alvarez. That was his goal. And that fight started looking very likely heading into May of 2021. Canelo had to deal with Avni Yildirim as mandatory challenger first, and he did that. And then in May, these two guys were on a collision course. Billy Joe being a 2-division champ, he was undefeated, he had the WBO belt, and Canelo was on his mission towards undisputed. That's what Canelo wanted. And in May, they would clash for 3 of the 4 titles at 168 pounds. And, you know, I have to hand it to Billy Joe. He boxed well, considering, you know, he was fighting the pound-for-pound king, and he actually gave a little bit of an issue to Canelo. You know, Canelo, you could tell, wasn't completely comfortable in there with the southpaw that could box and move. But, you know, Billy Joe was scoring, and he won a few rounds. I think heading into the 8th round, I had Canelo up, I think I had him up 5-2 myself, but I wouldn't be surprised if people had it 4-3. So he was doing well, but the thing that Canelo is very good at is he continues to get closer to inch closer. He's very patient that way. And Billy Joe just, in the 6th and 7th round, started getting hit with more shots as Canelo got closer to him, excuse me. So heading into the 8th round, Canelo wanted to finish things off. And in that round, he landed a monster left uppercut that really hurt Billy Joe, and he jumped on Billy Joe. Billy Joe somehow stayed on his feet, but when he went back to his corner, you could tell something was wrong, and his corner asked him if he wanted to continue. He didn't answer. In my book, you're quitting when you don't answer. You have to say yes or no. But the doctor looked at his eye, you know, after, and he ended up breaking his orbital bone. That's how hard Canelo hit him with that shot. And, you know, hey, he ended up losing for the first time in his career, lost his WBO title, but at the end of the day, nothing to hang his head about. I mean, he fought well against the pound-for-pound king, and, you know, the fight would have kept going at least a couple more rounds if Canelo didn't break his orbital bone, you know? So, you know, Billy Joe, you can't, you know, I don't think he should be too down on himself. I heard he was contemplating retirement. I hope that's not the case. I hope Billy Joe gives it one last run, because his stats, he's 32 years old. He actually moves up 1 spot from number 5 to number 4. Overall, he is 30-1 with 14 knockouts. And he's still the WBC's number 4 contender. That's his highest ranking. So Billy Joe, just like that, could be right back into things. And it's not like he doesn't have options. I mean, Billy Joe could swing in a couple of guys to fight him, possibly Danny Jacobs. You know, I mean, I'm sure he could get Chris Eubank in a rematch. I mean, that's been discussed, but Billy Joe's got to be committed. And I would like to see him come back and shake off some rust in the first half of the year, and then second half of the year be in some kind of an eliminator, maybe a vacant title fight, because you never know. Because Canelo, you don't know how long he's going to hold on to all 4 belts. You know, he might just say, fuck it, I'm moving to 175. I'm going to give up a couple belts instead of facing mandatories. Because the thing is, the longer you hold on to those belts, the more sanctioning fees you have to pay. So Canelo's not going to want to pay those sanctioning fees if he has no interest in even fighting at all at 168 or defending those belts, or being forced into fighting guys that he does not want to fight. So the thing is with Billy Joe, it's how much passion and desire does he have for this sport anymore, or does he have to go and try to become a 3-time world champion and win another belt, you know, give it one last run? How much desire does he have for that? That's the big question that needs to be answered, you know? I know breaking an orbital bone, you're out for a while. I'm sure he's going to be out for close to almost a year. you know, before he should actually return. But I really hope Billy Joe returns. He's a talented fighter. I think there's guys that he can beat and definitely compete with at 168. I think 168 is wide open. And I think Billy Joe, with his name, his style, his attitude, I think he could definitely still be a threat in a division that when Canelo ends up moving on, it's going to be wide open. So we'll see. But that's what I got on my number 4 super middleweight in the world right now, the former 2-division world champion, Billy Joe Saunders of the United Kingdom. I hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.